Hello, welcome back to another video. My name is Chelsea. In this video, I am going to be reviewing and then ranking all of the Chestnut Springs series, 5 books by Elise Silver. This is a really popular series that I just read, so I'm a little late in the game, but I think I want to go through each book in order, and then at the end, I will do a little ranking. I would just want to say overall, I loved this series. I thought there were strong points. All the books were quite enjoyable. And yeah, they're probably all like 4 or 5 stars, but I definitely had some that I liked better than others. So first off, Flawless. I read this one last month, so it's not as fresh as some of the others that I just read. So first of all, this isn't probably my favorite book, but it does a lot to set up this world and a lot of the characters. And while there is a love story and a romance in each one of these books, I would say like the found family and a lot of the like additional characters in each book really make this series like shine for me. So our 2 point of view characters in this first one is Summer and Rhett. Rhett is one of the Eaton brothers, and they're like kind of the main family in this whole series. And Summer works for he's a bull rider and his manager's daughter, Summer. And it's a little bit of an age gap romance. The tropes in this book are, they're kind of a grumpy sunshine, there's an age gap, it's forced proximity, and it's kind of like a country guy, city girl. A lot of her books do have age gap tropes. I think she just really likes that. This one's a little bit of an age gap, and he's basically, Rhett has gotten into, he's a bull rider and he's gotten into some like PR drama. So his agent's daughter is working with him at the firm. She's gonna be sort of like babysitting him a bit for a few months just to kind of help him save face and not get into any more trouble. And they have a romance, and Summer is really like optimistic and upbeat. She is a really fun character. Rhett I like too. I don't think they're the strongest couple for me, but this was a really enjoyable experience, especially because it was the first one, and like I said, it really like introduced you to the world and a lot of the main characters, and it's fun. They all have pretty fun like spice scenes, and their romances are fun. And in this book you get to meet like Summer's dad, obviously, and then also her sister, who plays a role later on, but we kind of don't like her sister just yet because there's like some traumatic stuff that's happened to her in her past. But that's kind of why she's like such an upbeat character. And then she does ultimately kind of stop working for her dad, and she gets with Rhett, and she ends up opening up her own like gym or like fitness center in the town. So all that happens in this first book. So then we have Heartless, which is probably one of my favorite books in this series. I think I gave Flawless 4 stars, and Heartless was a 5-star read for me. I loved this one so much, and it really made me want to read all of the books, and then I ended up reading them all within like a week or 2 after reading this one. So we follow Cade and Willa, and Willa's probably one of my favorite characters in this whole series. She's so funny. This is also a little bit of the age gap trope. Not the largest age gap. I don't think any of them are too large until the last book's a little bit. Forced proximity again, because it's like a nanny single dad trope. Kind of a grumpy sunshine more than the first book was a little bit. Because Cade's kind of the big grump in this, and he has a young son. So the premise of this book is that Willa's going to be the nanny, and she ends up really falling in love with Cade, and he falls in love with her, and she falls in love with their son, and it's like really, really super sweet. But I just liked their banter in this a lot. Their romance was really sweet, and the forced proximity was fun. I love Willa. She's kind of just someone who says everything that she's thinking, and she's really funny. Complete opposite of Cade, who is such a grump, and he really like needs someone like Willa in his life to kind of make him feel like a kid again, and he takes on a lot of the responsibilities. He owns like their land and all the stuff that he has to do for his family, and he has a young son that he's taking care of pretty much by himself. So it's really sweet, this romance, and I really liked it. So then we have Powerless, which is Sloane and Jasper's story. This one is he's a hockey player and she is like a ballet princess. He's kind of from the wrong side of the tracks. He's not officially one of the Eaton brothers, but he has lived with them since he was a kid, that he kind of like grew up with them. And Sloane is their cousin, so there's kind of like a weird joke of them getting together because they're cousins, but not really, not by birth or anything. He just kind of grew up with them so much that he feels like he's part of this family already. And they are childhood best friends, so this is a friends to lovers trope, which usually isn't my favorite trope, but I thought this was done really well. She's in a very toxic relationship in the beginning, and she's supposed to marry this guy who's awful. And the two of them have kind of been in love with each other since they were kids, both of them. He's kind of like a quiet, shy guy, and yeah, she's like this rich princess ballet dancer, and her dad controls her life and wants her to marry this awful guy. And thank God that gets taken care of like right in the beginning of the book, because if that was something that had to go through the whole book with her with this horrible guy, it just wouldn't have been a fun book. But I really liked this friends to lovers story. I don't know if they're not really my favorite couple, but this was a really fun read. Like I said, she had kind of like a lot of toxic men in her life, so it was just really nice that Jasper was like sort of like, I'm not. So it was really nice that Jasper was just sort of like, I'm not going to be that person that's going to tell you what to do. And he's a hockey player, and he has like his own stuff with his career going on. And at this point, because this is the third book, we've got like a whole fun cast of characters. So they're always texting each other in the beginning of like a lot of the chapters, and it's just really funny. And I really liked their dynamic a lot, because like I said, they were really in love with each other but never acted on it because of just this, that, and the other. So this one was really sweet. Jasper's probably one of my, like Willow was one of my favorite gals. I think Jasper's one of my favorite guys. I like Sloane, but I guess they're romance together. I don't know how I'm going to even rate these, but I liked him a lot, and I thought that the scenes in these really made sense to what was going on with both of their characters. And I also thought it was sweet that like she's getting out of this toxic relationship and her mom's essentially doing the same thing with their dad, because he's been kind of in control of like everything, like her career, who she's allowed to date, and like trying to get her to be with this horrible guy that she like left literally the day that they were supposed to get married. In the beginning, she leaves them. So that's not really even a spoiler, that happens right in the beginning, but she leaves him and they're like still thinks she's gonna marry him. So it's a very interesting story and also a really fun romance. Reckless is another one of my faves. This is Theo and Winter's love story. Winter is the sister of Summer in the first book, and Theo is like Rhett's like kind of protege. He's also a bull rider, but he's a little bit younger than Rhett, so he's kind of like almost like a kid brother to Rhett. So this book's interesting. It's a doctor and a bull rider. The other tropes, it's a bit of like an enemies to lovers type situation. Just in that they're like banter. It's just really funny that they don't really like each other, but they're so attracted to each other. We have like a super kind of cold, like ice queen girl, which her name is Winter, which is funny. And then just like this lovable, like sweet cinnamon roll guy. And it's a one night stand pregnancy trope, which isn't a spoiler. I think it said right on the back, but it happens really early on. And I usually don't care for the pregnancy trope. But I really like this. Like Elise Silver, some of these tropes that I don't normally like, I think she did such a good job in all of these. Because I don't actually really care about like nanny, single dad tropes, hardly ever, pregnancy tropes, hardly ever, friends, lovers, not really. So this was their love story. They kind of meet up earlier. I think in Powerless, there's a scene where the family's getting all together. And like I said, they're kind of enemies to lovers. They don't quite get along, but Theo's like in love with her from the jump, and she's really attracted to him, but she's really not used to being loved or receiving love. She's getting out of a really horrible marriage, and she's trying to keep away from her family. And then she ends up having this kid, and that changes a lot of things for her. She moves, you know, to live closer to her sister. Theo doesn't know about it until a little later, which she tried to tell him, but there's kind of a weird like miscommunication type thing that happens. But after that, it's then their love story while they have this child and he's trying to figure out how to like fit in. And she's just, Winter is probably one of my favorite characters too. I really like, just like a strong female character who's kind of cold and seems really distant, and you don't really like her in the first couple of books. And then once you get her POV and like see, you know, like her history and everything, she just became one of my favorite characters. And her and Theo's like love story is just super sweet. The spy scenes are really fun in this one too. I think they like kind of go back and forth. I think they kind of like go back to that one night, but like way later in the book. And yeah, I feel like I don't, I feel like I don't have too much to say about this one because I loved it so much. But pretty much, yeah, they have like really great banter throughout. And yeah, once she's like out of that bad relationship and she's officially divorced, and then he has like, his mom comes and visits, and there's just like, it's so obvious that they should be together in this family with their daughter. And it's just like super, super sweet. Hopeless. This is my favorite color, is green. So I love this cover. I actually love all these covers. There are a couple others, like older ones out there, but I think these are the newest and they're really pretty. So anyway, Hopeless is the bigger age gap trope, and not too bad. I think she's 22 and he's like 30. I don't know, like 35 or something. It's fake dating, which I always love fake dating. Beau's been sort of like the mystery brother who is in like the military, and we don't see a ton of him. But he's like kind of there in all the other books. And then Bailey they have kind of almost a Romeo and Juliet type of relationship, because there's two families and they kind of hate each other. And Beau even like really on, I think in like Flawless, kind of mentions how he feels bad for her because she's the youngest daughter of this family of like a bunch of dudes who are awful and like commit crimes and like get in trouble a lot, and the town basically hates them, where the Eatons are like loved. And he's like a military hero, so he's like a beloved person in this town, and she has a hard time like getting jobs and people just kind of hate her. So she's trying to figure out a way to get out. So that's why they end up doing this fake dating, actually fake engagement. They're supposed to be getting married. Yeah, so she's the bartender of this bar that he frequents, and she's like 22 and she's a virgin. So that might be the only thing that was a little weird about this one, because they really harped on that for a long time. So this one probably has less like spice scenes than the other ones. Even though there is some spice in this, because then once she's not a virgin anymore, they don't really care. But yeah, they really like harp on that a lot. But I still found this one really fun. I think I really related to the Bailey character. I think she was kind of me when I was younger. I think I've aged out of her a little bit, just because she had like this kind of funny, sarcastic, witty humor, but she's also just like kind of says ridiculous things a lot, which I don't think I do as much anymore. But I feel like when I was younger, when I was like 22, I probably would have made these same jokes, and like just kind of like, she's quiet until you get to know her, and then suddenly she's saying ridiculous things, which is really fun. And Beau's a pretty good guy too. He doesn't really like this whole hero facade that he has going on, and he's pretty like mentally, he's going through a lot mentally, and he's got like some PTSD from this time in the military. So they're kind of, and she's got like a really bad childhood. So they're kind of like dealing with a lot of stuff together. In lieu of like, I guess it's kind of weird. They're like, in lieu of going to therapy, they both work through it together, because they're both pretty messed up. I think the plot in this one was kind of weaker than some of the other ones. Although I really did like Bailey. I think Beau still seemed like kind of a mystery. He was a mystery throughout. I don't know. There's still something like quite not tapped in with him. But I still really liked this one. It was fun. I think this is gonna be my ranking. So, I think I liked Heartless the most, then Reckless, then Hopeless, Powerless, and Flawless. I gave both Heartless and Reckless, I think, were my 5 stars. And then the rest of these, Hopeless was close to a 5-star. And these were more like 4-star reads. I feel like Powerless and Hopeless could be switched around. That was actually the hardest for me. I think I liked Bailey a lot in this, and while I did like the couple in this, I didn't feel as attached to them. Where I kind of said the plot in this one wasn't like the strongest for me, but I think I just liked her more, and that's why this one's up top. And then obviously I already kind of talked about Willa and Winter being faves, but for guys, I really liked definitely Cade was great, Theo was really great, and then probably Jasper was the other one that I really loved. So yeah, that would be my total ranking for the Chestnut Springs series. Well, I said I did like Flawless. Yeah, it just didn't hit me as hard as the other ones, but I liked it because it like got us into this world and we met a lot of the characters in it. But I would definitely want to read more by Elise Silver. I know she has another series out and then like a new book that just came out that has Willa from Heartless. It has her brother as a character in that. But I really liked this world a lot, and yeah, that was fun. I'm scared of ranking things on the internet. I'm scared. Don't be mad at me. Okay, thank you for watching this video. I had a lot of fun reading these books and their new faves. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. You can comment down below if you have a different ranking than me, or if there's some other characters that you really liked in this series that I didn't talk enough about. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye!